So tell us about how you became a chef and why you became
Yeah,
a
so for
chef.
me, food was always a passion. I've always loved it. I didn't grow up in a really foodie household. It wasn't like I grew up with spices from our travels. I was eating lasagna, spaghetti bolognese, roast dinners, like most people, I guess, in the country were. But then for me, I just took this massive inspiration watching my heroes like maybe Rick Stein, Gordon Ramsay, Ainsley Harriott, and everyone on TV growing up and thinking, God, this food's exciting me. And it was a case of having to do it for myself. So, I'd be in the kitchen from 8, 9 years old, just experimenting with food, loved the process of making it. And I think loving the process really came from my granddad, because we'd go to his house on a weekend and he'd have food, but he'd have the music on. He'd be in the kitchen. He'd be really enjoying himself. He'd be singing and smiling. And not only did he enjoy eating it, but I could see he enjoyed making it. And I think that came through to me. And then it just always remained a passion. We'd always cook for the family. And then it was one of them things where I always thought, I don't necessarily want to work in a restaurant, but I do want to work more media led and following some of my heroes' footsteps on TV, just showing people how to cook. I got such a joy out of, just cooking for friends and them not being able to comprehend how I could cook, but I couldn't quite understand that. And then one thing led to another. I started social media. And then a researcher from BBC contacted me about a television show called Yes Chef back in 2016. And I was a contestant on a daytime cooking show. And then a chef that I think Atul Kutcher, he was a judge on the show. And he sort of said, after I won it, you can actually cook. If you want a real job, come down to London. And then it was a no-brainer for me. I was working in jobs that didn't really satisfy me. And food was always this passion, but I never thought I would have the outlet growing up where I did. So 2 weeks later, moved to London, started working in Mayfair, and that's how it really got started professionally.
And then you were cooking Indian food, right? Was that the first time you'd ever cooked Indian food, or?
No, funnily enough, growing up, not good for the teeth because of the spices, I think, but Indian food for some reason was always like this, my comfort zone with food. I don't know why or how, but I love the flavors for one. I think it's just reminiscent of getting Indian takeaways with my family when I was growing up. But I'd experiment a lot with spices. And I remember working in the restaurant and people from India saying, I don't understand how you know how to balance this food and stuff. And I don't know, it just felt like second nature to me. And on the application form for the TV show, it said, who's your favorite chef? And I'd written Atul Kutcher at the top of the list. So it was kind of like fate in that way.
Yeah, it either came naturally or it was a past life.
Yeah, well, you never know, one or the other. But yeah, cooking Indian food, I mean, it was like my dream thing to do. Just immersing myself with these ingredients. The amount I learned working there was just phenomenal.
I think it's the richness of the spices and the culture, and obviously they've kind of been perfected over years, and so it's
Exactly.
It's amazing.